running.
Fighting evil by moonlight.
That's you're gonna start with, huh?
Yeah, let's
open it
start
up with
the
that,
show,
huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we were talking about anime a second ago. So.
That's true.
You know, that's another topic we should cover at some point. The people that go, well, I just want D&D to be like an anime where I'm the main character.
No, then you find somebody running on a solo campaign.
Right. But like, how do you as the player deal with a weeb at the table? You know. The D&D podcast. I almost put Fighting Evil by Moonlight in the tweet, and I was like, no, I'll be good.
Yeah, I think it would still count. We do. It's not a new moon tonight, right? We would still have moonlight.
Yeah.
And technically, we are fighting evil.
That's correct. But how much evil?
I don't know.
Can we be a little evil?
I'm pretty sure. Have you seen the people that talk in our chat?
That's true. Yeah, we gotta be at least a little bit evil.
Yeah.
We can also fight it by daylight, though, too.
I don't know. It's kind of early. It's bright. It's kind of hot.
That is a good point. I do like to sleep in a little bit if I can. So yeah, we're live with the pre-show. Don't be toxic to your chat. That's very true. Yeah, Rungrin, how could you? How could you be so toxic to the chat?
How you doing, ma'am? Hope you are well.
Hi. Yeah, you know, we're fighting evil over here.
Yeah.
By bright light.
Yeah.
I do like these lights a lot, though. I think that they look good.
Well, they look near as dingy.
Yeah. Hopefully none of them fall on us this week.
That'd be cool. That would be cool if that did not happen.
Yeah. So, be nice. You know, just a reminder at the top of the pre-show here. If you're watching from Twitch, you should probably change your password. There was a big Twitch hack.
Yes.
I got to do this again Tuesday.
Yeah.
So just, you know, hey, keep that in mind.
That's a good PSA. So
change your passwords. Make sure that everything's good. If you're subbed through Twitch Prime, double check and change your Amazon account password too while you're at it. Just to be safe. Because I don't know that they can get through there, but in the Twitch email they said that, you know, hey, you should tell people to do that. So
alright.
Just keep that in mind. But yeah, we're talking once we get into the actual show, which we're not yet. This is the pre-show.
Yes.
We'll be talking about rogues.
Yeah.
Unless somebody has a fun topic for us to discuss instead.
Yeah.
So now it's just bebop time.
It is for a few more minutes.
I'm going to try this entire podcast to fit as many anime references as I can without being obvious about it. And in the last 4 sentences, I have fit 2.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep an eye on that, chat. See if you can find them all.
Yes, well. That was...
My favorite thing about it is that, like, I think this is going to sound like such a boast, right? Why does every pre-show I have to say something stupid? But, like, I've seen a lot of anime.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more than most people ever should, right? Over the years. And so, like, I can put in some references to some really niche stuff.
Yeah.
And people can hunt as much as they want. But, you know, hey, that hunter may just not be good enough.
Well, the few that I might could bring out are from straight to VHS anime from the 90s.
Yeah.
So I know there's probably a few of those in there, and there's a couple of those that do not need to be seen by human eyes anyway.
Yeah, so you're talking about specifically the one that has you scrolling.
Scrolling.
Are there some ninjas in this room?
No.
That one was a little bit more obvious,
yeah,
to be fair. That one was a little bit more obvious, but I wanted to give people that one. That was a gimme. Okay. It wasn't a getter, but it was a gimme.
Oh, man.
This is really fun, actually, to me. I should do this on the regular podcast during the pre-show. See how many of these I can fit in. Hello, Bandington.
Yes. So is this like a thing, like if a hermit crab dies in its home and decays, does it leave a ghost in the shell?
Oh, that's a good question, yeah.
That's
a good question. I think it's not quite that bad, but yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty close to that. 3 Street Bots on vacation? Oh, no. Yeah. It is. It's not pulling up on the stream at all. What the heck? Yeah. I just noticed that. Okay. That's going to be fun tonight. Let's try this.
What'd you do?
Well, I'm figuring it's probably because of the changes, right? But it wasn't... Restream Bot wasn't pulling it up, so I'm going to try just adding a regular chat box.
Chat box?
And see if that works.
Oh, yeah.
See if chat comes up now. But Twitch got hacked and some stuff broke, so it could be that Restream Bot is broke too.
No.
And if it is,
that one got that Restream gets like 100 comments each time.
I know, right? It's pretty great.
Restream's really popular.
All right, I'm gonna try a couple things here.
Okay, I'm trying to put that together.
So
well, I do have some chat open up here close to us so we can see your questions and everything. So you, please in chat, if you have any questions or any comments, please continue.
All right. Hopefully now between those three,
one of them
will work. And I'll have to. I didn't even think about it. I checked everything else. I unlogged. I reset all passwords. Okay. I didn't even think to check Restream bot. Aha! It worked.
Nice.
It worked. We just have the weird. Twitter box or Twitch box. That is.
Okay.
So, but chat is working now, thankfully.
Okay.
So we'll be stuck with this. And I'll tell you right now, we might be stuck with this on the regular podcast too if Restream hasn't got their stuff fixed by then.
Oh.
Because I really like the way the Restream chat looks.
Yeah.
But
if it's not working,
it's not working. Yeah. So. Yeah, you got at least 12 sentences there from me where I didn't sneak in any anime references.
You probably did without realizing it.
I probably did, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I had a really dumb joke lined up there. I was going to say, for a little bit, there was a shield there, so those sentences should be your hero. Rising a shield hero.
Oh.
I don't even like that show. It's not bad, I don't like it.
The show's going to be painful.
Yeah, it's like Tate no Nariagi Yusha, I think is the Japanese title for it. And I don't know. I think it's got an interesting premise, but it's not what we're here for today.
Yeah,
but,
no.
you know, I don't personally like it that much myself.
All right.
The shields are cool, though. I would hope so in a show called Shield Hero.
Yeah, that was probably something you'd want to highlight.
Yeah. Any Shield Hero fans in the chat, rise up. Why am I always like this for the pre-show? I'm the weirdest person in the pre-show. And then we get into the regular podcast and I'm normal and everything's fine.
Oh. Is ya?
Yeah. Yeah. Then I'm regular Trey instead of pre-show Trey.
I guess so.
But pre-show Trey is like ramped up to 11.
Right.
You know?
Right.
One might
That's
even
good.
say that, you know, pre-show Trey is a
But why wouldn't you just make 10 louder?
You could, theoretically. They're already preparing for their angry comments for YouTube. Regular Trey is still very weird. That's true. So, I was going to try and add it in Inazuma 11 joke in there somewhere.
Don't force it. Don't force it.
It's fine. They'll work their own way out. These jokes on a slope.
Makes about as much sense as fish with legs.
Why isn't that an anime?
Really? I make an anime reference and you miss it?
What did you reference?
GYO. I can't.
Gyo.
Fish with the legs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. No, I get the reference now, but I was thinking like an anime where...
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm thinking an anime, like an isekai. So...
Like a backwards merman? Or
yeah,
mermaid? Okay.
Yeah. So, like, very recently there was the isekai about the girl that gets turned into a spider when she wakes up in the new world. Where's my isekai about a guy that gets turned into a reverse mermaid?
That just sounds awful.
Upper part fish, lower part leg.
I'm pretty sure that was like the original scraps for Aquaman. No, we're not going with that.
Why is your name color so... I think if you refresh and enter the chat again, you get a different color. All trays are, in fact, weird. Man, Kyo. Gashunk. That's... For the week after I read that, all I could think of was Gashunk. Clearly the sound a shark makes when it walks through a door.
Yeah.
Gashunk.
Why did... You know, I have questions.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Junji Ito is a masterpiece of a human being. He is incredible. He's such a good author. But also, why? Like, Uzumaki haunts me to this day. There are very few things in his life I'm actually afraid of.
Yeah.
And there is a panel in Uzumaki, and it's not the one you think it is. There is a panel in Uzumaki that unironically still frightens me to this day. Street sharks are a thing, so at that point, no medium needs to do more leg than aquatic creatures. Street sharks are good, but they're not as good as cowpokes and mumesa.
Well, few things are, sir.
That's right. That's right.
You set a bar that high. Almost becomes unfair.
Oh, mumesa's so good. Oh.
And like all I'm saying is they got minotaurs in D&D 5e and gunslingers.
Can I be my next character?
Look, I'm not running that.
Please? Please?
Oh.
What if I'm a centaur, but I'm just the horse?
Yeah. I don't know.
I was trying to do a Brave Star thing there, and I was that's so much better. Just the horse.
I get, just the horse part of the centaur. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time you've been a
DM,
horse's ass.
That's right. The DM gets to play the man half of the centaur. It's like, all right, it's your turn. What would you like to do? All right, yeah, somebody else has to play it. That's right. What would you like to do? Well, I want to run towards the enemy and let my rider attack them. Yeah. The gunslinger horse. That's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be Brave Star's horse that had a shotgun.
30-30?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how much fun that would be?
Which I'll tell you right now, that rifle was much bigger than the 30-30.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It was a space 30-30.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, everything's a higher caliber in space.
It has to be.
Yeah, because shots have to go further.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, I'll tie all this back in together in an incredible way, which was always my plan, of course.
Yes.
Because we're talking D&D, and we're talking anime, and we're talking, weird, crazy stuff. Could we have a campaign where I get to be Gene Starwind from Outlaw Star?
Look.
Gunslinger, it takes shards of my soul to fire these special shots.
All I'm saying is, I don't know. You want that or Slug Terra?
Well, Slug Terra's great too, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But what made Gene Starwind so cool is like, hey, he's got these 6 special shots. Mm-hmm. And when he fires all of them, he's dead. So he's got to be really careful about when he uses them and make sure he doesn't miss.
Right. Oh, that'd be a bummer.
So he also has to be really good at hand-to-hand combat because he only uses the gun when he has to.
Yeah.
And so you could play a monk fighter that is always getting in there and getting close up, and then, hey, when the threat's big enough...
So what happens if he used the last bullet on himself?
Then he's super dead.
Okay.
Then... I was going to make a 40K reference. Then the current 5e god of death comes to take him himself.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hey, buddy.
Look.
You're super dead.
Yeah.
I was going to say Mortarion comes to get him, but that's a 40K reference nobody will get.
So you say Chimash from...
that's right. Maybe? That's right.
Chimash comes to it.
Like, hey, you deserve this. What the heck did you think you were doing? So we're like 15 minutes in.
Okay. I just want to say you were offered a Kingdom Hearts campaign lightly.
I still want to do that.
Okay.
Especially because I'm jonesing for some Kingdom Hearts right now after the Sora announcement. And I'm just saying.
Do I need, while you play, do I just need to sit in the background and holler stuff as Mickey?
Yes.
No? Okay.
Yes.
Well, we'll do that.
Yeah, I also need you to record instrumental versions of all the Kingdom Hearts songs so that while we're playing, you can hit those to play in the background. Do 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 do.
I'll play the kazoo.
Oh, a kazoo version of Don't Think Twice would be so good.
Yeah.
It'd be so good, man.
Oh.
So yeah, we got rogues to talk about tonight.
We do. We're going to talk about rogues.
A rogues gallery, you might say,
well,
of classes.
Only 3, really. Yeah?
Yeah, so it's Superman's rogues gallery.
Oh, that's rough.
I'm a big Superman fan too. That hurt me to say, but I had to do it.
Yeah. Well, for the longest time, it's really not until they invented kryptonite.
Yeah. It really is just Brainiac, Lex Luthor, and Zod, right? That are his villains?
Well, I mean, Doomsday and...
Yeah, but Doomsday is like after everybody.
Yeah.
Mr. Mixelplex, I guess. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that name in your presence. I know how much you hate him with a burning passion.
No, I don't. Do you want to start the show?
Yeah. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Full Spectrum D&D podcast. My name is Trey.
Hello, impossible people. I'm Rungren.
And we've got rogues to talk about today. So, again, we're going through the PHB.
Yes.
Subclass at a time. I really need to start putting like a time mark in the description of these that's like, hey, skip to here if you want to skip the pre-show. So we look professional. But do we ever look professional? We're covering rogues, and we've slowly been making our way through the PHB subclasses. We're not talking about all the subclasses or all the very different things you can get. But for your rogue, the subclasses we're going to be covering tonight are Thief, Assassin,
one more,
Arcane Trickster.
Right.
So, first off, I have to ask, why should anybody play a rogue?
Well,
this is my first derail.
Honestly, at the end of the day, it's probably the best class in 5e.
Yep.
In my opinion.
Yep. You want to do damage? You can do that.
Yeah.
You can do a lot of that.
Yeah.
You want to RP and have weird, fun RP opportunities? You can do that. You have a lot of that.
Yeah.
You want to be able to do whatever you want, basically, in every town you go into? Yeah. You want your own language?
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
You want to be able to instantly have contacts everywhere you go, pretty much? You got it. You want to sneak and actually succeed on your sneak checks?
Yeah. Your
sleight of hand checks? You got it.
Basically, the only thing you don't get to do is tank.
Yeah. That's right.
So.
I also think that for dungeon campaigns, for like serious dungeon delving campaigns, a rogue is a must. You need somebody that has a high check for traps, which is not a skill anymore. Now it's just dex checks, right? For check for traps. Investigation. That's right. Because it used to be like its own skill in 3.5. Like, hey, you have your own check for traps.
It was the same way in second edition.
Yeah.
It was his own special thing.
That's right. And then again, as Waverly's pointed out, sneak attack. Sneak attack is so good that it makes everything else pale in comparison. Yeah. Even a wizard's fireball is not as always effective as a sneak attack.
Well, you've only got so many spell slots.
That's right.
So
you got advantage? Sneak attack.
Yeah.
How are you going to get advantage? Everyone else.
Well, that's the thing. With a rogue, you have just enough little strategy in there to make the battles interesting.
Yeah.
And you set your dice aside to roll. You work yourself into a position.
That's right.
Or you're striking from somewhere where you have advantage.
That's right. That is your goal at all times.
Yeah, and that's really... I struggled with this in 5th edition because... No, it's just advantage. Really.
Right.
You just got to have advantage.
Yeah, it's not special advantage. It's not flanking. It's just advantage.
Yeah, because you had to... Yeah. Like...
Are they prone?
No stealth check. No,
Nope.
Nothing. It's just... So they are, very deadly. Especially if you got somebody else there to keep their attention.
We really just got started dark. We had a 15-minute pre-show where I talked about anime and how I wanted to play as Gene Starwind and the horse from Brave Star.
Yeah, 30-30.
So 30-30, that's right. It is, it's advantage. It's so crazy. Because again, in the older editions, you had to flanking, or you had to have, and by flanking I mean you had to have somebody else there, right? Yeah. Or you had to have a familiar that could do the job. You had to have, I saw the comment. You had to have like grease spell already cast, and that's where Arcane Trickster comes in later. Yeah. But like you had to be hidden or be able to be a sniper to be able to get it. And now it's incredible,
Yeah.
To be fair, yes, you can build a tanky rogue. You have a +5 Spirit Totem Barb, Uncanny Dodge, and Evasion. Yeah, rogues are good.
Yeah, that's a little bit, and I agree. I agree with you. That's a little bit out of my definition of a tank.
Right.
Because to me the tank is like hit me. You know?
Yeah, this is a dodge tank.
Yeah. So I mean, I think you're saying I agree, but that's not. When I think of tank, that's not what I'm thinking of.
There was a really funny spot in FF14's history where, for a very brief spin in Heavensward, the ninja was the tank, because he could do the job better than all the actual tanks.
That happened with the Warden class.
No worries, Waverly.
Well, the Warden class in Lord of the Rings Online.
Yeah.
Because it could hit and heal the way it was doing it. Yeah. Right. Well, we might have to fix that so the heavy armor classes can actually get back to tanking.
Right.
On that.
Making your first ever fighter level 11 with 31 AC. That's pretty good. Yeah, you'd have to use a feat. So, our 3 subclasses, again, shift that so we can read chat a little better. Our 3 subclasses, again, Thief, Assassin, Arcane Trickster. You and I both already know which one of these we think is the best.
Yeah.
But I do think all 3 of them are good.
Yes.
So, at level 3, you get access to these archetypes, right?
Right.
Your Thief is exactly what it sounds like. Burglar, Bandit, Cut Purse, all that fun stuff. You get Fast Hands, which means you can use a bonus action from Cunning Action, which you already have at 2nd level, right?
Yes.
To be able to use your Thieves' Tools, slide a hand check, to disarm a trap, open a lock, or use an object action with them.
Yeah.
Which is very, very good. If you are taking a thief is my least favorite, I think, of the 3. I'll say that now. But I think if you're going into a dungeon, a thief is what you want. You want a thief to be able to open up everything, to be able to get everywhere you need them to go.
Yeah.
They also get 2nd story work at 3rd level.
And that's a really cool thing.
It's a very cool ability. They can climb faster than normal. Climbing no longer costs you extra movement. In addition, when you make a running jump, the distance you cover increases by a number of feet equal to your dex mod. So you can theoretically get just about anywhere. Especially when you have the fact that your thief probably has rope and a grapple or a bow to be able to fire a rope arrow.
Yeah.
That thief is getting wherever that thief wants to go, basically.
Yeah.
At level 9, you get Supreme Sneak. You have advantage on dex checks for stealth checks.
Yeah.
If you move no more than half your speed on the same turn. Which, again, means you're going to get sneak attack, probably.
That's, yes. And I like this ability a lot. This is one of those abilities that unfortunately kind of falls down where the DM would have to kind of remember that you have to have that to give you that reason.
That's right.
To use it. The coup de grace, yeah.
For anybody who just saw what that was that I went to adjust my glasses and realized I'm not wearing them. Use magic device is at 13th level. You've learned enough about the workings of magic that you can improvise the use of items even when they are not intended for you. You ignore all class, race, and level requirements on the use of magic items.
Yeah.
Which is pretty solid.
Yes,
That's a good ability to have.
Yeah.
And then at 17th level, Thief's Reflexes, you have become adept at laying ambushes and escaping danger. You can take 2 turns during the first round of any combat. Take your first turn at your normal initiative and your second turn at your initiative minus 10. You can't have that when you're surprised. You just get a second turn.
Yeah.
Every round. Not every round.
No, the first round.
First round.
But it's still...
But everybody says every round, and if you're not paying attention as a DM, you will keep giving them that because you didn't check it for yourself.
Some older players might think of that because it's almost like the old initiative system.
Speed, right?
Well, you had speed and everything. Once you got your number, though, you would go, and then you would go again.
Right.
You know, as you took somebody off, you would go back down.
But this is your reminder, DMs. It's only on the first round of combat. I said every round at first because, again, that's what people say. People want to get that extra round of combat in.
I bet.
And I don't blame them, but that's what haste is for. So what do you think about the thief before we move on?
The thief is what you would expect when you think of rogue. That's your classic character on that. You know, Autolycus from Xena.
Right.
There's just hundreds of examples. Thief from Thief, the game Thief.
Bilbo from The Hobbit.
Now, he's a burglar.
Yeah.
Burglar. Not a burglar class. Close.
Clips the every round bit out of context convince my DM to let me be OP. Yeah. So next up is Assassin. Assassins are very good.
Yeah.
Basically, you are the hired killer, right?
Yeah, and the Assassin's, one of the ones you really want to get that position for that first strike in.
Yes, absolutely. At 3rd level, you get a bonus proficiency with Disguise Kit and Poisoner's Kits. You also get Assassinate. You're at your deadliest when you get the drop on your enemies.
Yeah.
You have advantage on attack rolls against any creature that hasn't taken a turn in combat. In addition, any hit you score against a creature that is surprised is a critical. Automatic advantage on the first turn, if you're fast enough, is incredible. Because that means you get sneak attack immediately.
Yeah.
And then if you're surprised, you auto crit.
That's a lot of damage.
Rogues are great, man.
Flex tape.
Yep.
A lot of damage.
Now that's a lot of damage. At level 9, you get Infiltration Expertise. You can unfailingly create false identities. You must spend 7 days and 25 GP to establish the history, profession, and affiliations for an identity. You can't establish an identity that belongs to someone else. For example, you might acquire appropriate clothing, letters of introduction, and official-looking certification to establish yourself as a member of a trading house from a remote city so you can insinuate yourself into the company of other wealthy merchants. If you adopt the identity as a disguise, other creatures believe you to be that person until given an obvious reason not to.
Yeah.
And this ability gets forgotten, right?
Well, it does because that's a hardcore. That's really, really a role play ability, right?
It is.
And for that, that's another one of the abilities, kind of like the other one. You're going to take that person out of the group.
Yes.
You know, you're going to have some time with that character
Absolutely.
alone. Which, look, if you've got a bard and an assassin running around, that's going to be a great campaign. But you want more. You don't want a lot more of the people than that.
That's right.
Really trying to run that, especially if you're wanting that to be part of your character.
Yes. I will also say from the DM side, keep this in mind. If your whole goal is like, well, I have a whole multi-session plan worked out for how my players can ingratiate themselves in with this noble or with this king.
Yeah.
So, well, your assassin may not need that at all. Your assassin may just go, no, it's okay. Just trust me, guys. Let's wait a week.
Yeah.
I got this covered.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, yeah, keep that in mind. If you're a DM that has plans for this, if one of your players is an assassin, they could just choose to completely circumvent it. And that's fun in its own way, too.
It is. It is.
But...
And, yeah. That's kind of it's like another DM thing because with... Like, if somebody casts a spell, hey, pull it up, we'll read it off together, make sure we're all on the same page.
That's right.
You know, the players need to be responsible for their characters and bringing stuff up. And that's good because something like that can throw the DM off a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And change up a campaign. Or it might make a speed bump that the DM's trying to get around.
Right.
Not be a speed bump anymore. And
That's
he goes,
right.
oh, okay. Well,
yeah, awesome.
Let's do this then.
Now we go straight to the fun part.
Yeah.
At 13th level, they get Imposter. They gain the ability to unerringly mimic another person's speech, writing, and behavior.
Yeah.
They must spend at least 3 hours studying them, those 3 components of a person. And then the ruse is indiscernible to a casual observer. If a wary creature suspects something is amiss, you have advantage on any deception checks you make to avoid detection. Which is very cool.
Yeah.
You just... Hey, I'm pretending to be this person. I know how they move. I know how they speak. I know how they write. You better be the person's significant other to guess that I'm not them.
Yeah. there's some things that are a little, and it's kind of like 5e gives me issues with it because it should be obvious that there should be a problem that a Kinku shouldn't be able to do this.
Right. But a Kinku can.
A Kinku can. In in a human city.
I do think it would be really funny if the Kinku is like dressed as a human, but still obviously has the beak.
Yeah. And
then it's just like, no, I'm Bill from down the street. What do you mean? And people go, oh, sorry, Bill. I didn't,
Why are you wearing that?
Yeah. At 17th level, they get Death Strike. They become a master of instant death.
Yeah.
When you attack and hit a creature that's surprised, it must make a con saving throw. DC is 8 plus your dex mod plus your proficiency bonus. And on a failed save, double the damage of your attack against the creature.
Yeah.
So you already get a crit. But if they fail, you can double the crit.
Yeah.
Which is... wow.
Yeah. This is a really kind of...
Sneak attack crit doubled.
Let me roll my dice.
Yeah. Like my new Plague Doctor mask, I have inexplicably acquired for undefined reasons.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's Assassin. I think Assassin's very, very good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think in 5e, Assassin is more roleplay focused than...
It is. There's some subclasses that really fall into I would say a niche, I guess.
Yes, absolutely.
And Assassin's one. You kind of have to keep. You can just play it as you would say like a champion fight or something like that, but if you're gonna get something out of it, you're gonna play it. A role playing session or.
I do miss some of the stuff from 3, 5, and 4 for Assassin. Getting basically like a free use of Shadow Sneak, which now is its own rogue subclass. Instead, for Assassin was very nice. The ability to move from shadow to shadow.
Yeah.
But again, I do think that other rogue subclass is really fun.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that one today, but
no.
If we were, it would be my favorite.
That's a good one. That's a really, really good one.
It's very good. The third one, though, we have is Arcane Trickster.
This is a good class. I wish it wasn't. This is in the basic rules, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be in the basic free
I agree.
rules.
This is a very complicated and yet somehow like the most liberating of all of the rogues to play in my mind.
It is, and as far like between it and like the Eldritch Knight,
yeah,
I think they got this one better.
I agree.
I
think Arcane Trickster is so good.
Yeah.
Because Arcane Trickster is just a rogue, then also it has magic.
Yes.
Like that's the good way to do it in my mind. You're not giving up for anything of it.
Also, the magic fits the rogue better than I don't know. The Eldritch Knight is just like, okay, I can cast these spells and I'm a fighter.
Yes.
This kind of goes. I don't know.
This is tied into the identity. Yeah. Can you grab 2 subclasses? No, not from the same class. So you can have 2 subclasses if you multi-class, but you can't multi-class rogue, right?
Technically.
Right. Your DM could say yes.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't see any reason why you couldn't.
See, that's the thing. There's no rule against it.
Yeah.
The best look, if you wanted to do it, your DM may say, okay, well, you're going to be like so many of this in the rogue here.
Yeah.
You're going to have to take one rogue in one level in a completely different class, fighter,
right,
cleric, whatever. You get that one level, then you come back to retrain.
Right. That way it splits the 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I do think that one thing to think of there is it would get pretty confusing of what's your rogue level? Well, no. I'm technically only rogue level 5.
Yeah.
I'm just 2 rogue level 5s.
Yeah.
Yeah. But multiclassing gets weird anyway. I love multiclassing. Don't get me wrong. But it gets weird when it comes to what's your level? Well, for what?
I'm wondering.
Sorry, total.
Anyway, that's a different discussion.
Right. No, go ahead. What you got?
No, the expansion rules or whatever they're talking about, because it's not going to be 6th edition.
Right. It's going to be 5.5.
Really, which is like, okay, that's cool.
Yes.
I'm good with that. I do think they're doing that. This is Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition.
3.5 added so much to 3rd edition. I am super down for that. Don't have like rogue level. You have character level and that's it. Yeah. It's
kind of the same way, because your character level is going to matter for much more than your any level
class you have. Right, because that's your proficiency
have.
Bonus. That's your HP.
Yeah.
That.
But you may run across something where very rarely where it was like, okay, well, the rogue class.
Yeah, and as Band put in there, you'd never get more sneak attack damage because you'd be level 5 rogue and then level 1 rogue working up to it.
Yeah, no.
So your sneak attack would be
really
badly.
Not until you pass. Well, once you multi-class, you're not going to get the max out of anything.
That's right.
So.
And that's where Rogue Paladin is still the best multi-class in my mind. It's very hard to make it work thematically, but level 3 Rogue, level 17 Paladin.
How is that hard to make work? After 3 levels,
I
can't do this anymore.
I agree. Okay. But a lot of people do it the opposite way first, so they have more AC.
Oh.
And that's harder to work, right?
Yeah.
I agree. The rogue that goes good, right?
Yeah.
That's a really cool idea. But a paladin with sneak attack smite?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
See, this is the funny thing about 5th edition. I think that's why we're going to get tighter. Hey, you want to play a stricter game?
Yeah.
Not, because like in 2nd edition, you could not do that.
Yeah.
You would not, if you were being the rogue. If you went from paladin to rogue, you would no longer be able to use your smite.
Right.
Because there's no way to be a lawful good rogue.
Right.
But anyway.
Robin Hood.
He's chaotic good.
I know. Warlock Pally. Yeah, but.
Oh yeah.
How do you make that work?
Yeah. I know the Warlock Valley ones. That was one of the ones that struck me when I first started looking at 5e.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, what?
You can do this.
Yeah.
But how?
Yeah.
No man can serve 2 masters. Although you could have some really fun role play of Yeah, no, I'm with you. Coralon, I'm with you. Everything's cool. Let's do this. I'm a good guy. And then as soon as you turn the corner, yes, the fiend, yes.
Well, since Pally's an oath,
yeah.
If your fiend gives you your oath of conquest,
that's right.
You're covered.
That's true. So, Arcane Trickster. Automatically, you get Mage Hand and 2 other cantrips from the Wizard spell list.
Mm-hmm.
You have spell slots at 3rd level, which is when you would get access to this. You get 2 first level spell slots, and you get to know 3 spells.
Yeah.
So you can switch them out. Because you're not a wizard. You don't have to use a book. You're just also not, some of the other classes that get more spells.
Yeah.
And you get 3 cantrips, as we said. Your spellcasting ability is 8 plus your prof plus your intelligence modifier. You get Mage Hand Ledger Domain.
Yeah. Which
is when you cast Mage Hand, you can make the spectral hand invisible, and you can perform the following tasks. You can stow an object the hand is holding in a container worn or carried by another creature.
Mm-hmm.
You can retrieve an object in a container worn or carried by another creature, and you can use thieves' tools to pick locks and disarm traps at range.
Yeah.
So you basically get to break the rules of Mage Hand.
Yes.
Which is great. That's really good.
Yeah. See, I think the Elder's Knight didn't get anything like that.
It just gets, hey, yeah, I can cast and fight.
Yeah.
I can almost quick cast as an Eldritch Knight, which is nice. But yeah, I think that Mage Hand control basically is worth it, even if you don't get anything else, and then you get better stuff too.
Oh yeah.
Because the ability to go, hey, I'm going to use my Mage Hand to undo this trap door or trap chest. I know it's going to explode. My Mage Hand will be fine.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be all the way over here while I do it.
Yeah.
Go for it, Mage Hand. Also, you can perform any of these without being noticed by a creature if you succeed on a sleight of hand.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can do it contested by a creature with perception. In addition, you can use the bonus action granted by your cunning action to control the hand.
Yeah.
So, cunning action, I'm going to steal the key out of his pocket while I'm fighting him.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Yeah, it's a really cool ability. Very cool ability.
At 9th level, you get Magical Ambush. Starting at 9th level, if you were hidden from a creature when you cast a spell on it, creature has disadvantage on any saving throw it makes against the spell this turn. You had your scout with a plus 13 sleight of hand.
Yeah, and that's another thing. When you get there about the Arcane Trickster is most rogues I know have a pretty sick sleight of hand.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
Yoink. And I was never there.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you face to face. How would I steal something from your back pocket? Versatile Trickster is at 13th level. You gain the ability to distract targets with your Mage Hand. As a bonus action on your turn, you can designate a creature within 5 feet of the spectral hand created by the spell. Doing so gives you advantage on attack rolls against that creature until the end of your turn. So before 5e, you would go Arcane Trickster, you would take Find Familiar, you would summon the owl would go fly down because it has free disengage,
right?
You would get sneak attack, and then it would fly away.
Yep.
Now you don't need that.
Yep.
Now, my Mage Hand's there, so I have advantage.
Yeah.
Free sneak attack.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, okay, the monster you're fighting is going to try and destroy your Mage Hand. Well, it can't because it's a Mage Hand.
Right.
It's a spectral hand.
Yeah.
It would have to have anti-magic stuff to be able to do that. And why would it choose to do that if it has anti-magic instead of just shutting you down? It's so good.
It is.
Finally.
Yeah.
17th level.
Yeah.
You get my favorite Arcane Trickster ability.
This is one of my favorite abilities in the game.
You gain the ability to magically steal the knowledge of how to cast a spell from another spellcaster. Immediately after a creature casts a spell that targets you or includes you in the area of effect, remember, you still have evasion. Mm-hmm. You still have uncanny dodge. You can use your reaction to force the creature to make a saving throw with its spellcasting ability modifier. The DC equals your spell save DC. On a failed save, you negate the spell's effect against you, and you steal the knowledge of the spell if it is at least first level and of a level you can cast. It doesn't need to be a wizard spell.
No.
For the next 8 hours, you know the spell and can cast it using your spell slots. The creature can't cast that spell until the 8 hours have passed. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. Now you may say, well, that's not that strong. You don't get to keep the spell. Let me tell you a story.
You just steal a spell, they're going to pass it again for 8 hours.
Let me tell you a story.
Yeah.
There are 2 ways that I have seen this used that are within the rules of 5e that are so big brain smarter than I would ever be, right? Rogue steals the spell. He steals Disintegrate.
That's a handy one.
It's a very good spell, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, man, I want to be able to use this more often. So then he puts it into a ring of spell storing. Then he just has Disintegrate on the fly. It's good for more than 8 hours because it's in the ring. Any spell that's put into the ring is good until it's used. Or until the ring's destroyed.
Because it's already been cast.
Because it's already been cast. So then he's got it whenever he wants it. The other way that I've seen it used is with a wizard. Who is, what's the subclass? It's the book, the lore wizard. And the rogue casts the spell in front of him after having stolen it, and then explains how he cast the spell. Because technically, he cast the spell. And he explains it, so then the lore wizard can write it down, and now the lore wizard can cast it whenever he wants.
Yeah.
Like the stone, yeah. Absolutely. There's so much you can do with this past just the cool thing of, you cast that fireball at me, not only did it miss, I'm throwing it right back at you.
Yeah.
It's so good.
That's probably, like I said, as far as abilities go, it's probably my favorite one out of everything, because it's just so cool.
Yes.
It's such a move too. As you know, you were a wizard. It's ready to throw a fireball. It casts. It's gone.
Here's why I have to ask you. How do you feel about the counterspell debacle? So this was a big thing right after 5e first came out, right?
Yeah.
Where there was a situation, whether true or not, I don't know, but it floated around every forum basically back then, where players were fighting Big Bad.
Yeah.
Big Bad casts Chain Lightning.
Okay.
Bard counterspells it.
Mm-hmm.
Big Bad counterspells the counterspell.
Okay.
Probably shouldn't be able to do that, but DM, I guess, didn't want to lose it, right?
Okay.
So then Chain Lightning's still going out. Arcane Trickster steals the Chain Lightning, and the DM tries to say, well, you can't do that because it was counterspelled.
No.
Well, no, it wasn't counterspelled, because you had your Big Bad guy counterspell the counterspell, which isn't how that works, but sure.
Okay.
So now it's like there were no counterspells at all.
No. Okay. What you go is first in, last out, right? So you got lightning.
Yes.
Right? Counterspell, bard.
Yeah.
Okay. So the bard steals the spell. Excuse me, the rogue steals the spell. Right? Your counterspells are nullified.
Right. I agree. That would be my ruling as well. Okay. But it was a big thing at the time where people were like,
well, what? Yeah.
Well, how? No, because another spell's been cast. Well, no, the rogue's still within the targeted area.
Yeah.
Like, it's still aimed at him. And because it was counterspelled twice, which is not even how counterspell works, it's going through. So clearly it's still,
Yeah.
I thought it was a weird thing that come up way back when now. In the year.
That was argued by people who didn't play Magic.
Yeah, probably.
That's what it was. Because the wording's not... It's hard to make that wording really clear when you're getting on those levels.
Yeah.
And D&D probably did not do the best job of breaking that down.
Could the Trickster steal counterspell? Technically, no, because counterspell's not targeting them. But I don't know, man.
Wait, let me read this. Could the Trickster steal counterspell 2? If they stole an ability and put it in the ring, then fired it from the ring for it to get... If he had another reaction to use and could use the reaction again to steal another one, but I don't know that they can.
Yeah, I don't know how you get a second reaction.
If it's on the next turn, it would be another one. But does that get...
Well, surely the spell would have gone off by then, by the time it gets back to your turn.
Yeah.
I would hope.
Sorry.
If the spell's not gone off by then something's happened. By the time a whole loop of combat's gone. But I think as a DM, I would probably let Arcane Trickster steal any spell, honestly. To me. No, it's not that firing it from the ring is the reaction. It's that when the spell is fired originally, the trickster has to use their reaction to make the attempt to steal. So they wouldn't have then another reaction to steal counterspell. With the Sork, there's meta magic that makes spells do less damage to your allies.
You'll get your reaction back at the top of the turn. So if they steal a spell, the rogue steals the spell.
Right.
Ducks back behind something.
Right.
Okay? They've stole it. The fight goes on.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Next turn.
Rogue jumps out, uses the spell.
Yeah.
It gets counterspelled. Then they use the reaction again to take the counterspell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I think so.
Yeah, you could probably do that. Although the book says it has to be targeting you. But technically the counterspell's targeting your spell that you cast.
So you could not do it from a storage spot. You could have to do it from the... You'd have to cast the spell yourself. Not store it. Because if it's cast from where it's stored... you can't... Okay, you're getting... This is some kind of weird rules here because technically the spell's already been cast.
You also can't use the feature again until you finish a long rest.
Okay, so you only do it once, so no.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do it. But
if you had two in the party...
Yeah. Rule of cool, though. I don't know. I might allow it.
But if they had it stored up, the counter spell, if you had a fireball, say, or disintegrate in the spell storing for a while in the story, you use it there and it gets
because then you get your... Yeah, that's true.
You'd have it back. I think you do. I think you could do it. I don't know. It's kind of...
You could get real interesting with it.
Well, see, counterspell's kind of a weird thing because as we were saying with the ring of spell storing, or if the Ion Stone has spell storing, technically you cast the spell. The spell has already been cast, so it's in the thing. So how do you counter the spell that's already been,
Yeah, no, I agree. I think
it's a weird.
I think it'd be tough to counterspell that.
Yeah.
Rules wise, because you're supposed to do it when the spell is first cast.
Yeah.
The ring is what cast. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. I'd have to do a lot of digging to be able to come up with an answer that I'm happy with. Yeah. But at the table, I would rule it most likely.
More than likely, but like I said.
But if it became a recurring thing, then I would look it up and do all the digging for what is ring of spell storing? What does it actually say? How it casts
this has actually come up in 5th edition once or twice in games I've run.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, where was that spell cast?
Right.
Because you're just releasing the effect of that spell.
Right.
But then I think that may say that the thing's casting it again. I don't know.
Yeah. I think I've told the story on here before, but I had an illusionist that was Wizard of Illusion that was pretending to be like an all-powerful archmage. Mm-hmm. And the way that he did it was by using stones of spell storing and having them scattered around his area. And so whenever somebody would try to fight him, he would cast lightning in the form of an illusion at the stone, which would trigger it to cast lightning that had already been stored in there. And there's a lot of fun stuff you can do with that. But an Arcane Trickster would have absolutely just wrecked him.
Yeah.
Would have gone in there and tried to steal that illusion lightning and gone, that's not really lightning. I can't take that. What are you doing, man? And then he would just die. Yeah. There's a lot of fun stuff you can do against magic. Big bad evil guys.
Yeah.
So, because we're already like 48 minutes in, instead of going into sorcerer, you want to talk about big bad evil guys for a minute?
We can do that.
Which do you prefer to run? Magic ones or physical ones?
Hold on, we're off the official topic.
Yeah.
Player's handbook.
That's right.
That.
Because next week we'll come back unless we have something else to talk about with sorcerers.
Right.
And we'll be talking about the different sorcerer subclasses, specifically I say subclasses is origins, right? The Draconic Bloodline, the Wild Magic, and I think that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Those are kind of neat. So we'll probably do sorcerers and the...
Warlocks.
And warlocks, yeah.
Yeah.
And then say wizards.
Pact of the Chain, Pact of the Blade, Pact of the Tome.
Ooh, we almost got
the patrons. We're going to talk about the patrons with that, too?
I tell you what, Wizard and Warlock are both going to be pretty big.
Yeah, those might be their own episodes.
Okay, we'll go on sorcerer and maybe find something else to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, big bad evil guy. Depends on the group.
Bards use his abilities force the PC to fight each other to death. Yeah, I'm a physical guy. I like, and don't get me wrong, I love having, because I just talked about my illusionist, right? But I love having that big, beefy, like, hey, a bunch of my minions were magic, and you punched your way through them.
Yeah.
But now I'm the guy that was able to subdue them. Not by magic power, but by sheer force of will and strength.
Well, I try. It's made me think about that because like there's times where in campaign where it's been a pretty powerful sorcerer, but as soon all the group needed to do was get the the tank up to it,
right,
and that was the end of it. And then there was that one fight that was pure physical. After that fight, that was really brutal.
Yeah, that guy was tough.
Yeah,
that guy was really tough. I think it depends a lot on party composition, right?
It does, because you want to make it tough for the party.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to meta too much,
right?
Because you want to give room for the characters to surprise you,
right?
To come up with something, and you don't want to try to think about how to specifically take them down or make it, but you want to make it like some kind of there has to be a challenge.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and not to be the meme, why not both? But like, what about a physical guy that's been amped up by magic, or a pair, a team, magic and physical together?
Mm-hmm. The only problem I have with magic using playing it from the empathy part is keeping up with.
Regardless, that's fair.
Keeping up with the spell slots and things like that. Usually, if I have a big bad evil guy, I'm going to play the spells more like abilities.
Yeah.
Until something comes up where obviously say, hey, is that a counter spell?
Yeah.
Or something like that. Unless I've said something where it's an effect going off, then I'll count as that. Most of the time, that's how I play.
Right.
On that.
Legendary resistances are fun for sure.
Oh yeah.
I think my favorite big bad evil guy group that I made. Obviously, I had like a whole team in this campaign, and the illusionist was one of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they weren't the final enemy. But there was this. So like the whole group was led by this Rakshasa with 2 first names, Elizabeth Meredith, and you might get the reference. And she wasn't that powerful, right? But she had convinced all these powerful people that she was powerful.
Yeah.
And so that's why like Razak Khazar, the illusionist, was able to blend in because he pretended to be powerful as well, right? But she had these 2 people, these 2 ancient dragon slayers that had grown old and then went mad, basically. And she had given them back their youth, but they had not regained their sanity.
Oh, that's awful.
Right? And so they were Drace and Drasna, and she set them up in the place that had the MacGuffin that could undermine her plans, right, to defend it. And the party had to fight them in this small chapel with, like, pews everywhere, and Drace had a great sword, and Drasna had a great bow. And so it was these 2 that had been magically enhanced, but were covering for each other's weaknesses, and could cast, but also were melee. And it was just a really, really fun combat to run. The players handled it perfectly. It was really well balanced. They won by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah.
And it was just really fun to play.
The legendary resistances is really weird. 5e has a tough time going up, especially after you get past 15th level. We'll start 15th and up.
I don't know that I like legendary resistance at all.
Before that. But with what they give the players and how they have set up the monsters so far.
You have to have it.
I have to have it. Because what the players can do, the players in 5e are way OP.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got to take that into mind as a DM. In the last fight, and the one I know she's exactly what she's talking about with legendary resistances.
Yeah.
If that wouldn't have had all, that fight would have went 3 turns.
Yeah.
That was the power of magic in that group right there.
Yeah, because villains, your bad guys don't get anywhere near what your players get.
No.
And if your response to that is, well, I'll just make a player as a bad guy then. I'll make my own level 20th character. Then it's like, no, that doesn't really fix it either.
No,
and it's just as unbalanced as before.
It is, and that actually is going to make, you'll find out that's actually a lot harder.
Yeah.
To run in a fight. Not doing that.
I will say where legendary resistances shine to me, because I said I don't like them, and I don't. But I understand the necessity of them. And where they shine to me is after you've burned them all. Because everybody knows how many legendary resistance things get at most, right?
Yeah.
So after you burn those 3, then you go,
yeah,
he's ours now.
Yeah.
And then you can do whatever you want to him, you know?
Yeah.
But you have to get there first. And if you don't have a lot of spellcasters in your party, that could take 3-4 rounds, you know? But.
Yep. Yeah.
So it depends on your boss, right? And like you and I've talked about before, how we homebrew a lot of stat blocks. Mm-hmm. We add abilities or take because we like to have fun with the monsters.
Yeah.
I like to give my monsters lair abilities.
Yeah. I think that's maybe they're counting up in there. Legendary resistance, and a lot of them have lair abilities. Mm-hmm. If you find them at home on a 20, on a 20, you can do certain things.
Right.
Is where you're going. Usually they have 3 different ones you pick. Now wait a minute. Is that the ones that you have 3 points?
No, those are legendary actions.
The legendary actions. So you
yeah,
got legendary
those are
resistance, lair, and then legendary action.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
And the lair actions, lair abilities are really fun to me because you can go like, hey, well, this is their home. Like we talked about earlier with the illusionist, right? His lair action was that he could make an entire field of electricity on there. Because this is his home. He's got it wired up, you know? But a legendary action would be like, hey, you're fighting a dragon. He's taking 2 claw sweeps at you. He's going to use a legendary action and take another 2 claw swipes at you this turn for free.
Yeah. And then they usually have something wild where if you spend 2 points, you'll get it.
And then they have a third, which is the big whammy.
Yeah.
But that takes them all, you know? So, I think they're fun, but I feel like, it's just my experience, I feel like a lot of times DMs are too afraid to use them. Because they're like, well, I might need them. It's like, well, no.
You're supposed to, you need to blow them.
You have to go into every encounter as a DM expecting that monster to die here.
Yeah.
You know? Because it's probably going to anyway. So give it what it's got, you know? Unload. Just the other day, I had a big fight that I thought was going to be super tough. I had counted for the fact that most of the party was using bludgeoning, and it was a skeleton boss that I'd made. And it's like, hey, they're going to be doing double damage to this thing, you know? So I'm going to give it a good number of hit points. I'm going to put it on a horse, a skeletal undead horse, you know? It's going to have some really cool lair actions that it can do. And by the time the first round was done, they had killed the horse. And I was like, okay, yeah. All those lair actions basically are gone.
Yeah.
But instead now, it's just going to fight.
Yeah.
And it's a thing of, give your monster some cool stuff that it can do, and it will be a really interesting encounter, you know?
Yeah.
It's a horse. It was a skeleton horse, to be fair. But yes, they could have, theoretically, they could have tamed it.
Oh, no.
But
think of that.
They decided to kill it instead. So, what can you do? I never said the horse was evil.
That's true.
So I should specify that one of my players is now here. And it's just realized that she could have had a skeleton horse.
Oh, a basilisk would be a nice pet.
Oh, basilisks are great, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Question for you, though.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about your villains, right? Your big bads.
Yeah.
And do you think they have to die, or do you think the party can go in and talk their way out with them? Because I see a lot people going, well, why would you kill the big bad guy? He's so powerful. He could be a great ally. And it's like, yeah, but he's the big bad.
Okay.
Like, I'm not gonna.
Instead of asking me, the DM, I'm gonna turn it around to the player.
Yeah.
The last one that y'all faced off with, that whole party.
Yeah.
You have a range of different personalities.
Absolutely.
And responsibilities for the characters in that party. Would any of them, by the time they got to that point, even the most kind-hearted, think that they could have talked them down?
Absolutely not.
Okay. No.
Granted, my character.
Well, yeah.
Hated him with the passion of 1,000 burning suns.
Yes, it did.
So.
But there's other characters in there. Now, there was another villain.
Yeah.
That y'all did. Y'all did kind of talk out of it.
Absolutely.
So, both.
Yeah, I think it's important to balance that. Yes, you want to have a cool final fight, but you also, if your villain is not a monster, if they are a creature, a sentient creature that can talk, you need to give that option for dialogue.
Actually, now that I think about it, that group has more than one so-called villains that would have been allies to them.
Yeah.
That they didn't kill. So yeah, it's the moment. It's the moment and the group and everything.
Yeah. But I also think that if you, as the DM, take the opposite approach, right? If you say, well, everybody can be redeemed, then when you get to the big final villain, you miss out on some of the catharsis of like, hey, this guy has, killed untold thousands of people over the course of this journey.
Yeah, but
I want to smash his face in.
If you're gonna have that attitude, you need something in there for the players to chew on.
Yeah, I agree. A reason for redemption.
Because and like, this is just the way I run things. There was a few dropped hints, a couple of big ones before one of those things.
Oh yeah, no. I should clarify. In your last campaign, there were times where I, as Trey, felt bad for that villain. Yeah. But my character could not.
Right.
My character hated him that much.
But like the White Dragon.
Yeah. For sure.
Is would definitely be a villain.
Yeah.
In most campaigns.
And I think that there is room for that, but I also think, sometimes it's satisfying to just beat up the bad guy.
It is, and now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not. How to be a great DM? Run the way I do. No. Which How to Be a Great DM is actually a really good YouTube channel.
It is, yeah. Very much.
Now that I think about it.
There's a much in there.
Yeah. But, with the one villain, nobody saw any path through. With the other one, there was always at least one thing that gave y'all pause. Right. So, yeah, I don't understand that. If I don't give you that idea of redemption...
Yeah, why would I try?
Why would anybody try?
It's not
why
Steven
would
Universe.
Upset?
Come on.
Yeah.
That was a low blow. I loved Steven Universe for so long. That's not to do with any of this, though. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like that show. But, yeah, just, question then. Before, because I know it's already
okay,
one
we're at an hour. Hold on, dude. I still got coffee.
You still got coffee. Okay, question.
Yeah. I still got coffee.
Do you prefer human villains or monster villains?
I like running a human-esque villain.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, there's I understand them better, and I know there's dark thoughts, and if you act upon them, then you are a dark human. And I don't know. It's just I think there's definitely a time for the when you say monster, right? I don't mean like... You're talking the mindless raw.
Yeah, I'm talking actual monster, not monstrous creature, human.
Yeah, yeah. But I like the intelligent evil.
32 pets. Wow.
Oh man, look, I had a wizard in one campaign. I don't remember all the spells, tiny servants, and a couple other things. Yeah. Everywhere he went, there's ting ting ting, just a whole marching. Well,
my current character. Would have a bunch of mushroom men by now if the bodies had all been whole.
That's true. He's working on it. He's
getting there. He's getting there. No, I agree. I like the sentient villain far more than... I'll put it this way. I like the dark side more than I like the apocalypse. Right? Yeah. I like the enemy that can think and plan for themselves. Yeah.
Now, in early, especially when you get up higher levels, in earlier levels,
yeah, sure,
the bugbears run amok, right? Or the
go fight that Boulet.
Yeah, things like that, definitely. But as the higher you get, to make it interesting, you really need that intelligence.
One of my previous big bad evil guys in a campaign that never got to finish was a Leonin by the name of Sanhinjal, who was a former slave that had broke free. And then was of the opinion that all sentient races that are not animalistic should die because they were the ones that enslaved them. And treated them like subhumans. Or demi-humans, I guess, right? And so he eventually got strong enough that he was fighting the gods and killing them. And so then it wasn't, hey, I think all my people should be in power. It was, no, I am the one that should be worshipped. Yeah. And so then obviously, before it was a moral quandary of, well, yeah, he's doing terrible things, but he's doing those terrible things because systemic racism in this world that has torn him down into this small little creature that is lashing out to try and have an ounce of power. Yeah. And then it becomes, well, no, now that power has gone to his head and he's become a megalomaniac and we have to stop him,
All right.
What have we got against bugbears and leones?
That's him. I don't know.
That's one downside of the book quest.
So I have finished my coffee up. We finished up this hour.
Yeah.
Also with that. Nice discussion. Anything? Oh, the D&D books.
Yeah, they did get delayed.
They got delayed, so it'll be
Fizbin's and.
It's the same month at Strixhaven.
Yeah.
It's the same month. They're coming out in the same month they're supposed to. It's just been a week or two.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot. I think they're. I don't know. That might just be the hard copy. I didn't know if
it might be. It could still. The digital version still might be coming out on the regular time frame.
Now I think about it. Yeah, I don't know if
I can double check.
Yeah, double check that for.
Yeah.
Because we're definitely going to talk about them. I'm really looking forward to the Dragons. He's really looking forward to Strixhaven.
Yes.
So those will be fun. We always like covering the new books.
Beyond.
Yeah. Which we do recommend D&D Beyond. We are not sponsored by them, but one of the reasons why makes 5e so accessible is what you can do with it free.
Mm-hmm.
You can play for free.
Yeah, Fizbin's is still coming October 26th on D&D Beyond.
Yeah, it was. So that's only about a week. It was the 19th,
mm-hmm.
so a week.
And then Strixhaven.
Maybe around the same. But the also, if you would don't forget to join us on Tuesday nights at the same time here on Twitch.
That's right.
At 7 o'clock. There will be Trey. It's usually Patrick and Andrew, two other.
Strixhaven has been delayed. It's December 7th now on D&D.
Oh, okay. It's even back further.
So, yeah. So, Fizbin's Book of Dragons will still be on the 26th.
Okay.
But
it was the 19th.
Is now, it was the 19th. So, it's still this month. But
yeah, but the
so
other
even on D&D Beyond, they've been delayed.
Okay.
5 horses, 3. Look.
2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree.
I may have played a half-orc ranger.
2 purple worms.
That's right. I may have played a half-orc ranger that collected a lot of animals.
Like, all I'm saying is, this Christmas I'm singing Dark's Pet Song.
Yeah. I had a cow. I have never before in all D&D owned a cow and a chicken, and I was so happy to have a cow and I'm that guy, right?
Wait, was that MacGyver?
That was MacGyver
on the cow chicken. That's right. You had a little, yeah.
I was that guy that was like, hey, in this world of all these crazy animals I can own, I just want to own a cow and a chicken and 2 horses. It was going to be 3 horses. And then I almost owned 2 giant birds, and I didn't because Aeon and Braeon had their own sentience and weren't owned by anybody. Yeah. So,
Yes.
I had a cow and a chicken, and it was great.
Yeah.
And the old guy. That's right. I collected a person. I added a person to my farm.
Oh, but you did move Bytodon out there.
Bytodon! Yeah.
Tell your story.
Will you just leave? Where's Velma? Yeah, no.
No.
MacGyver was a fun character. I want to bring him back sometime. So yeah,
good.
Regular Tuesday night podcast. 7 o'clock. Myself, sometimes Rundgren, but normally Pat and Andrew when they can be there.
Yeah.
And then, YouTube stuff still going up. If you're watching from Twitch and you've been subbed to us on Twitch, change your passwords, please, just in case. We were told that we weren't a part of the hack, but just in case, please double check your passwords. Because Twitch got hacked, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna talk sorcerers next week, and maybe have a fun diversion in the middle of that. I read Velociraptors, but my brain said Velociraptor or Velocipaster.
I know. I was going to call you out.
That's a great movie if you've never seen it, Velocipaster. One of my personal favorite movies of all time.
Yes.
Yeah. No, D&D's great, and.
Okay.
Why did I play the druid I'm playing now? I could have been Velocipaster!
That's true.
Oh, I'm such an idiot! I could have been Velocipaster!
Maybe one day.
I could have been 3 levels in druid, resting cleric, 17 cleric, and been Velocipaster! Oh. I'm so upset with myself now.
Well, we'll play more.
That's going to be my next character. Velocipaster is my next character.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then every time I wild shape, I have to go, your lives! The Mushroom Lizard is a lot of fun. I do like playing the Mushroom Lizard.
We don't, like, I want to fill us that we've cut off the shilling a couple times. We need to go ahead and do the shilling right quick.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So we do have a Patreon. You can join some Discord for $1 a month.
Yep. And we have a lot of fun in that Discord.
We do. You'll get access to videos early. Everything in the Discord goes up on YouTube.
Yes. Nothing is stuck up there alone. But you get access to it a lot earlier in the Discord. So, for instance, the Balan Wonderworld playthrough is completed. But on YouTube, it's only up to episode 16 of like 30. So, if you want to see that whole thing now, you can check it out in the Discord. The Wilder Myth playthrough is also completed. You can check that out in the Discord as well.
Yes.
Oni Fighter's evil and your first evil character. Nice. Evil characters are fun. But, yeah, check us out on Patreon. You can find that link at the bottom of the page or at www.patreon.com/thefullspectrum. Check us out on YouTube over at www.youtube.com/c/thefullspectrum. Give us a follow on here, a like over there, subscription over there. Any of that stuff would be great. We appreciate all of it.
You're really close to 1,000 on YouTube.
Yeah, we're really so close, man.
Appreciate it.
So close now. If we can just hit 1,000.
So long, huh?
If we can just hit 1,000, I'll have to go back through all of the videos and trim off mid-rolls. But it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. So, yeah, check us out. We have a good time. But with all that said, semi-evil campaigns are great. I have been Trey.
I've been Rungren.
And we've been the Full Spectrum. And remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that Dungeons & Dragons has to offer.